is a story.
Hi everyone, welcome to your February Alchemy Scope. You are indeed transmuting from lead to gold. Your energy is refining, your stories are refining. Let's take a look at, as we look at this beautiful rainy day, let's take a look at the Sabian Symbol imbued at the new moon point happening this month on the 27th of January, Friday, at 4:06 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This new moon point is the point that the Alchemy Scopes follow. So let's look, what is the Sabian Symbol that's living at the 8-degree 15-minute point in the zodiac wheel. This is a flag is seen turning into an eagle. That's the symbology. Dane Rudyard's keynote is the dynamic incorporation of new social values in individuals who exemplify the spiritual potential and greatest significance of these values. He goes on to explain, to see the new archetype, to perceive the new standard of value with one's mind is not enough. The seer must become the doer. The impersonal is dynamized and brought into focus. We have here the acting out of the vision. Everyone, what this is talking about is the ideal becoming real, the archetype in the mind becoming the actuality in physical 3D reality. That is the symbology imbued. It means that the month ahead is going to be living in the energy of bringing the new form of individual, bringing the new form of society to a new level. Now, we also are moving into a new Chinese year, and this is the year of the Rooster, okay? Now, I'm reading here from my archetypal profile definitions for the rooster. So when you imagine a rooster and you imagine the quality sets of the rooster, you can imagine energy, a vocal nature, a being who is efficient and who is assertive. So if you are a rooster, so if your Chinese zodiac sign is a rooster, you would have the embedded quality sets, the encoded qualities of efficiency. Somebody who is methodical and resilient and resourceful. You would naturally be, at your basis, a resourceful strategist. Roosters are dominant and highly communicative by nature. The archetype is inherently intense, outspoken, honest, outgoing, and industrious. Now, it's important for us to understand that this year of the rooster is going to imbue these qualities. So we're going from the year of the monkey into the year of the rooster. So there is going to be an intensity, there's going to be an outspoken nature, a verbal nature, and an assertive nature, a dominant nature that's coming forward. And I think that's happening at all levels, within the individual and within the societal whole, within humanity. So let's move on now to the individual readings and see what is activated for you this month. Libra, welcome to your February alchemic growth narrative. What is happening for you this month? So it's interesting because the last three readings I've done, we've had cards pop out. Avenger just popped out. This is about evolving into the balancing of the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of oneself or society. I'm not going to pull that because I have a little ways to go to tune into square or circle. So let's talk about that first. If you tuned into the January Alchemy Scopes, you know what these are representing. The circle and the square are representing two branches of the Libra evolutionary path. And it's part of a bifurcation that I sensed unfolding earlier in 2016 that I felt really got catalyzed and activated at the end of the year. So please tune into circle or square and choose one. And that will be your nuanced theme for the storyline that's unfolding. If you want to know more about the bifurcation, please listen to the January Alchemy Scopes. Okay? So in the meantime, what I'm going to do, as I always do, I'm going to select a Carolyn Mace archetype card for the growth edges for square and circle. So while you tune in on square and circle, I'm going to go ahead and select these cards. Okay, so for square, Libra square. So we have a lot of bird activity outside right now, just FYI. Okay, so Libra. Let's take a look at these and then we'll talk about them later. So first of all, Femme Fatale came up for another sign as well, just FYI. And it's interesting because we have Femme Fatale for squares, Goddess for circles. These are the two growth edges. So we'll talk about those in a moment. What I'd like you to do is, if you haven't selected yet, circle or square, what is the most resonant for you? Put the video on pause and tune into that. I'm going to go ahead and unveil it now. Okay, so Libra, you can see here the yellow bordered cards. These cards are the Brawl to Lay deck, and the white bordered cards are my Siri deck. And then in the center is one tarot card, and this is from the Druidcraft Tarot. So let's start with the squares. Firstly, the King of Cups upright is coming up for a central theme for your growth and evolution this month. So this could be a person or it could be a quality set. If it's a person, this is somebody who is grounded in their emotional expressions. So there's a maturity and an expressiveness to this person, a warmth, a compassion, etc. There's a mastery in regards to the emotion. Now, if we look at kind of the sub-story, we have doubting in the center, doorway. This talks about temporary. So there's temporary doubts around movement or activity. Now, this could have to do with relocation, or it could just have to do with activity. So there's some temporary doubts, or maybe there's doubts around temporarily moving or a temporary movement that's happening with regards to some progression in a goal. So glory, victory is about success. So there's some movement that wants to be made with regards to finding success. Now, for some of you, this is going to have to do with you. For others, this has to do with a partner or somebody in your life that is represented by the King of Cups. So it might be that, for example, a spouse is wanting to make some move or progression for success, either in his work right now, some advancement, some raise, some relocation for work, etc. But you're having some doubts around that, okay? Now, if this is not a person and if this is you, then this could have to do with your emotional life right now. So you have some doubts around making some navigation, some move, some evolution with regards to how you emote, how you feel yourself emotionally as a person. But I will say that I do think it has to do with a person, because we have the journeying card here. So in the spiritual sector, the journeying card is coming up. This does have to do with taking a trip or a travel, going away for a while, okay? So it does seem like this probably is a person. This probably is a partner or somebody very close to you. And this person is wanting to make some move in order to get further in his work or business. You're having doubts around it though, okay? And this has to do with some trips, going far away. Now, emotionally, you're feeling some contrast. You're feeling some aggravation or negativity or resistance with regards to chemistry or the alchemy, the alchemic relationship, maybe how it will affect your relationship with the King of Cups, okay? Now, for some of you, this is going to be a female. So for a lot of you, this will represent a male, but this is a general reading, and this could easily have to do with a female, okay, in your life, a female partner. So indeed, you're going to be feeling like any journey or any move or any temporary relocation is in fact going to feel contrary to the growing of the chemistry that you want to build with that person. You in the foundational sector are imagining, this is the dreaming card here, okay? So you're imagining there's going to be a weakening. And for you, it's a weakening because maybe there's freedom sought, meaning it could be that the King of Cups character in your narrative over the course of this evolutionary journey, you might imagine that indeed they just want to get away. They want freedom. They want independence. Now, for some of you, this is going to be you. But there is this weak card here coming up at the base. So you're imagining that indeed there's a weakening of things with regards to this person leaving, even if it's temporary. Okay. Now, let's move on to the circles. Now, with regards to the circles, I will say this also has to do with the partner. The sadness card. So 5 of Pentacles is coming up. 5 of Pentacles alludes to loss. So grief or sadness with regards to an experience of loss, financial loss, etc. So this is kind of a main theme. The sub-story here is the fact that there is with regards to loss or with regards to failure, this experience of failure or not having what you need on a security level, you are going through a process, circles. So Libra circles are going through a process with regards to the mission of the soul. So with regards to a goal, the goal of this month, and according to this spread, it has to do with a success story. So moving in a direction that's going to bring success. But this month you are processing the goals for advancement with regards to spouse. So it's the same narrative, but there's a different nuance to it, okay? So, and this happens all the time, I'm finding, with this bifurcated message. So with regards to spouse, you are processing the ideas about the mission or the goal for this month. And it might be driven by the spouse's actions, or the partner's actions might be driven by the need for money, because there might be loss that's being activated. In the spiritual sector, we have more, leaving. So again, it's not the journeying card, but it talks about ending or leaving. Something is going away. So for you, spiritually, there's a contemplation of more goneness, more leaving. There's going to be more space between you. And you're contemplating that. You're contemplating how will it affect your joy, your happiness with this person. Okay? And indeed, look at this. So again, this is a general reading. So this is going to refer to a man for most of you, but for some of you, this could be a woman. But in the base of the spread, a man is at the center of the reading. So here we have the King of Cups. At the base of the reading, this does have to do with a man. And of course, we have in the center here spouse. So often, for a lot of you, it's going to have to do with either a partner or a male partner or a spouse. But it could be a female. And emotionally, you're going to feel this month that something is erupting, emerging, something is coming to the forefront. When we look at the squares, this has to do with maybe an imagining of freedom, that the partner wants freedom, and you're feeling sadness around that, or you feel like it's going to weaken the chemistry of the relationship. Here you're also feeling like, okay, something's emerging. Something's happening between me and spouse. Something's happening between me and spouse, maybe because spouse is wanting to leave, wanting to go off on this journey in order to advance his mission of the soul right now, which has to do with work. Your thoughts are going to be on new thoughts. You're going to have new emergent thoughts about seeing each other. So you're going to be thinking, how much do we see each other? What do I want? What feeds me? So Libra circles for you and for the Libra squares, this definitely is a relationship assessment month. If you've tuned into the scopes for a while, you're going to know that this has come up in the past. So what I want to say to some of you is, this is going to be a long-standing spouse contemplation process that you've been going through for some of you for months. So right now it has to do with the possibility of maybe business overseas, or taking a job somewhere else, or going on the road for months at a time. And for the squares, there's an imagining of freedom and maybe a weakening of the chemistry. For the circles, it's not too different. It's an assessment, new thoughts about, okay, what is going to serve me? How much do I need to see this person? And the interesting thing is, look at this. Femme Fatale is coming up for the squares. This is the growth edge for the Libra squares over the course of February. So here we have at the base, what wants to be evolved is you want to move out of the inappropriate use of sensuality and an attachment to money and power. So again, there's something here with regards to this movement toward glory, okay? Movement toward glory by this man that might be an addiction to power and money. Now, I want to point out too that this could also have to do with an affair. So for some of you, this is going to have to do with inappropriate sexual relationships outside of the bounds of maybe a partnership. So here there's an ethical, and this goes into this freedom. So you're going to be assessing that, you know what, maybe he wants to get away. Maybe he needs to get away. And that's something for you to really dive deep into and maybe allow the freedom and make your own moves into the path that is going to serve you optimally. Here, what wants to be evolved into is highlighting the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. So for the Libra squares, you might feel that things are weakening with the partnership. You might feel rejected. You are to keep your heart open, but you are not to be walked on. That's not what this is saying. It's about really honoring your feminine power, And I have to tell you, it's completely aligned that Goddess is also coming up for the circles. So for the circles, the growth edge is to move out of the exploitation of the female nature and form. Okay? This is about not exploiting the feminine. And it's about evolving into the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. In both of these, we have the feminine. In both of these, we have the power of the feminine. In both of these, we have the erotic sexuality of the feminine. So I want you to really drink this in, Libra, because it could very well be that for the circles and the squares, that there is a narrative playing out here that has to do with you honoring what you need. And the challenge that's coming up in both branches of this path has to do with the partner is going to create a catalyst for you to really do some assessing. And indeed, there is new reflection going on for the circles. So your mind is really going to be thinking about, what do I need? What is really aligned with my soul print. So, okay, beauties. A powerful month, as it's been for all the signs. A note that, like I do every month, I also pulled the I Ching for you, and I pulled your Dakini embodiment, and both of those for January, February, and for March are listed in my website. I've created a library for you. It's under my website page, thealchemyofholism.com/library. So you can go there to read about your I Ching and the Dakini that came up for you. And you can learn about your 2017 evolutionary story video, personalized video, which are quite powerful, and they're very in-depth. So for any of you out there interested in learning your solar returns, 1 or 2 solar returns for the 2017 cycle, a divination reading, a double spiral spread, and getting your Dakini guidance that's specific to you, you can learn about that also in the library. Okay, so I send you much love for the month ahead, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.